All right, the promoter just about killed himself. Hey, y'all, thanks for coming out to Cactus tonight. It's really wonderful to have you here for No Two or More Life number the third night. It's been a wonderful experience, and when people ask about the Cactus, I would say that this is the Cactus. Y'all are the Cactus, and Butch Hancock is the Cactus. And it's just real special, and he's going to warm Cactus Cafe welcome to Butch Hancock.
Surrounded. You're not talking about the weather. I think I'll start with the town song. Is that all right? If I had no place to fall, and I needed to, well, could I count on you, or to lay me down? I'd never tell you no lies, I don't believe it's wise. You got pretty eyes, won't you spin me round? I ain't much of a lover, it's true. I'm here and I'm gone, and I'm forever blue. But I'm sure one you. The sky's full of silver and gold. Try to hide the sun. Oh, but it can't be done. At least not for long. If we help each other grow while the light of day shines down our way, well, we can't go wrong. One time she's a fast old train. She's here and she's gone, and she won't come again. Won't you take my hand? If I had no place to fall, and I needed to, could I count on you, or to lay me down?
Guthrie song, which I wrote.
Stars always shine, will the wind always blow, will babies always laugh and cry, will a young child always want to know, will a young girl always blush, will a young guy know the score, and will the pleasures of love always lead you through another door. Will the sun always rise? Will the grass always grow? Will winter always turn to spring? And will a young child always want to know? Will young lovers always whisper? And will the ocean always roar? And will the pleasures of love always lead you through another door? Will the pleasures of love gonna lead you far and wide and fast? They'll lead you through door after door till all these things have come to pass. Will the world always turn? Will the pathways always wind? Will lonely hearts always yearn for the promise of peace of mind? Will they? Will the rivers always run? Will the spring rains always pour? And will the pleasures of love always lead you through another door? Yeah, the pleasures of love will lead you far and wide and fast. They'll lead you through door after door till all these things come to pass. They'll lead you through door after door till all these things have come to pass.
Did you get that one, Mike? Sample it. You can change it to any note, can't you? Yeah. Pretty like a synthesized banjo would take a lot of work. Yeah. Anybody here been to Terlingua, Texas? Yeah, good. Why? Pretty cool place. Well, not cool, but it is a dry heat out there. brag about it. I was out there last week, actually, working on all these songs, and you may not be able to tell it sometimes. But I think one day there was like, it got up to 110, and which was actually, it wasn't that bad. You know, it was very dry. It was warm. Well, I started saying more than you can imagine, but I bet you can easily imagine that it comes to. Well, I should write a song about humidity, maybe. There aren't enough songs about humidity, except rain songs, and that's kind of overdoing it.
Barefoot prints on the desert sand, blue moonlight on the Rio Grande. I love the moon when it shines like this, and I love the way you hug and kiss. I loved a woman on a silent night. I loved another 'cause she kept things quiet. But my Yankee lady and my Southern belle, I love the way they kiss and tell. Jesus Christ and the G.I. Joe, head to head and going toe to toe. Hang 'em high and shake your hips. I love the way you lick your lips. Ain't your mama Larry Shim and Mo? Funny money and nowhere to go. Gypsy Rose and Jericho fell. I love the way you rang my bell. Barefoot prints on the desert sand, blue moonlight on the Rio Grande. I love the moon when it shines like this, and I love the way you hug and kiss. Muddy water in the Rio Grande, fast eddies and slow quicksand, a gypsy moth and some dragonflies. I love the way you roll your eyes. Any minute and I might have known, anything you see can turn to stone, but a gypsy song on a summer's wind can turn it all to gold again. I love the river and the deep sea too. I love the desert and the sky so blue. I love that endless mountain climb, and I love the way you tell no time. Barefoot prints on the desert sand, a little starlight on the Rio Grande. I love the stars when they shine like this, and I love the way you hug and kiss. Barefoot prints on the desert sand, the blue moonlight on the Rio Grande. Barefoot prints on the desert sand, the barefoot prints on the desert sand. Barefoot prints on the desert sand.
it okay on like Saturday night if I make cue cards for one song? Good one, Roger. Very good one. Well, who did you think I was talking about? Yeah, I could just hand out cue cards, and that way I could just play it, and y'all could just read it. I wouldn't have to sing it. Yeah. And I may sing that Talking Laryngitis Blues. You ever heard that one? Well, of course you haven't heard it. Nobody's ever heard that song. It's got really good lyrics, and they're easy to memorize. I bet Wavy Gravy would like that song. He's the guy that wanted to run nobody for president, right? He did. They got thousands and thousands of votes out in California for nobody. Who's gonna lower your taxes? Nobody. Who's gonna stop the war? Nobody. Yeah. So it was almost beginnings of a landslide, I think. Don't cry so loud, I've been in your boots before, and I know you're not to blame. It's not even something you can chalk up to the breaks of the game. You suffered so when you put your old high horse behind the cart, but the low down on that is this: your race is soon to start. And it's a real hard journey you're taking, and it's a real hard you've been breaking. Don't leave yourself wide open. Some roads will lead you blind. Won't you leave yourself with one last chance to change your mind? Don't sing so soon. You know I've heard that tune, and although it's not the same, I never was much for judgment, babe, so you won't hear me complain. Out there between the fire and the ice, your voice sounds so alone, but I'll lay down a little hard advice: the choice is still your own. It's a real hard journey you're taking, and it's a real hard you've been breaking. Don't leave yourself wide open. Some roads will lead you blind. Won't you leave yourself with one last chance to change your mind?
Don't walk so slow, you got so far to go, and you're taking the long way around. And it's high time you learn to pick 'em up and lay 'em down. If you insist on hanging around, once again that's up to you. You know the ones they call a mini-bay, and the ones they use are few. It's a real hard journey you're taking, and it's a real hard you've been making. Don't leave yourself wide open. Some roads will lead you blind. Won't you leave yourself with one last chance to change your mind?
Thanks a lot. This next song, I think I wrote this one down in New Orleans many moons ago. In fact, I'm sure I did.
Lost in damned and sacred changes, through the smoke they look the same. Descending Jacob's double helix, just to feed some holy flame. Blue eyes and skies deflect the plume. One sweet sacrifice refused. You fight the wind, and the wind fights God. Oh, but God don't like to lose. Now where the hell is your brave young champion? You better find him, and find him soon. 'Cause the boat's on fire, and the tides are swelling for some old prisoner of the moon. Down in some blown out and burned out blues bar, some gentle jukebox bit the air. Some joker's pride that just bit the dust there. But it's all for love, so all is fair. Brown eyes and beard defend the trust. Sweet sacrifice, paper thin. old prisoner of the moon. Burning highways and turning phrases, your promised land lies neath silver shrouds. But can you pay the price for wasting your whole life savings in a bank of clouds? Down below the wind, that old stream's raging, sweet sacrifice, life's little storm. But there's nothing quite like poetic justice, and even love itself takes many a form. Cause what might be sweet love for lovers is just a common legacy to learn. But let it be a lasting lesson for some old prisoner of the moon. Just let it be a lasting lesson for some old prisoner of the moon.
Know what you're drinking.
I'm gonna wait till the next set. I'm good for now. Yeah, thanks anyway though.
I think I can remember this one, but well, so far I thought I could remember all the ones I've remembered. It all works out. But I'm hoping. I was going to hope that it averages out too, but that doesn't sound right either. Is average really imaginary? Yeah, it has to be. Because everything else is. Whoa. I'm gonna work on that one. It's not for you to say what the world is needing. It'll come out anyway in the light of the sun. And though you're so proud of all of you bleeding, it's all been said before, now it must be done. There are those who just speak of money and earthly treasure, diamonds and gold, and they may laugh now, but it won't be funny when they gain this crazy world and lose.
step behind. Roads may cross your crazy mind at a crazy angle, but it's the road you're standing on you need to find. If not, you'll look for love, then what will you live for? Are you just waiting for some surprise? And if not your life, then what will you give for a taste of heaven and a light to fill your eyes? You can speak with the tongue of a raven angel and still be just a step behind. Roads may cross your crazy mind at a crazy angle, but it's the road you're standing on you need to find. It's the road you're standing on you need to find.
Y'all welcome John Hewland, better known as John Train. Hey, Butch, I gotta admit something. Your friend Ricky out there, he looked up the lyrics to this song on the telephone. The song we're about to sing, not that last one. Yeah. To help me out, man. I sing a lot of Butch's songs, but of course he asked me to sing the one with the most lyrics in it. And he didn't have to go to Google. He could have asked me. You know the lyrics?
I don't know, we'll find out.
All right. But I really don't trust anything on Google or on the computer for that matter. I mean, I work with it, but, I can't say I trust it. Well, the funny thing is we found the lyrics to this song on my website. You talking to me? Okay. Wow. Yeah, well, John had a wonderful album. He recorded this song we're about to do, and he's been down on some river trips down in Big Bend, and you live in the great city of Philadelphia, right? Yeah, where you caused some trouble back in the early 90s, according to your own admission last night. That's true. Yeah. Well, that's true. I did. We did. I did that. It was fun, though. Yeah. He's got a wonderful album called Mesopotamia Blues, and guess what it's about? Yeah. Don't just have to listen to this. Don't guess it. Oh, we were gonna get yeah. Let's have a little. Is Kevin back there? Kevin, are you there? Yes, sir. All right, Kevin Carroll. All right. This is that one in the key of C. Oh, that one. Yeah. So, John, what is your favorite part of Philadelphia? Certainly. I'll tell you, man, it's weird being up here because when I was in college, I started ordering those original No Two Alike tapes, and I mentioned that to Butch once, and he said that there were more tapes than courses that I took in college. Yeah, I think that happened to me too. Except nobody ever sent my tapes. So you got the middle verse, right? I'll try the middle verse. Right. Yeah.
You don't know what you're missing with your endless supply. So that infinite variety of the same old merchandise. You standing on the corner, acting lonely and lazy. You had no way to wander. I was feeling so crazy. You just went out and bought the fastest bike you could buy. Popped a wheelie in the alley, aimed her straight for the sky. He bit the dust on the highway. You were 99. Somewhere east of Albuquerque, singing sweet by and by. He followed her down. She took him for granted. He showed her his heart. He just showed him the door. He showed her the road. She said, I don't understand it. When he died, he was thinking, honey, here's what it's for. I asked my angel if heaven was near. Said it's closer than it looks. You can't get there from here. Where can you go when you're already gone? Where can you go when you're already gone? Anybody in your government got no respect for this earth. They want to move the Indians again from the very land of their birth. They want to move big mountains and cut the cold out from under. Well, they don't know about sunshine. They never listen to thunder. You know who they are. Oh, but who are you to let them do this to a people who'd never do this to you? Would you follow them down to the skids and the slums? Take somebody from a circle, turn them into a bum. Those are great spirits with you to the ends of the earth. When you die, you'll be thinking, what the hell was it worth? I asked my angel if heaven was near. angels. I once caught a thief. He was 20 years off the reservation. The cops all call him chief. It's more than mind over matter. It's your body and soul. First rung on the ladder. Poor and hungry and cold. It's the of the mountain. It's the snow on the crown. It's a smokeless horizon. Someone you don't let down. But it's those minds that can't feel, and those minds that don't reach. It's sad, but it's real. These ain't just figures of speech. I asked my angel if heaven was near. She said it's closer than it looks. You can get there from here. Where can you go when you're already gone? Where can you go when you're already gone? I asked my angel if heaven was near. She said it's closer than it looks, but he can't get there from here. Where can you go when you're already gone? Where can you go when you're already gone?
Hey John, when was it we did that gig in that weird train station in the middle of New Jersey?
A few years ago, right?
Yeah, a few years.
I think we were the only ones in that train station.
Boy, I love that place. That was great. Some little place out in the middle of New Jersey, an old train station, and somebody's trying to turn it into a venue. And it's great, and great vibes in it. Huh? Oh yeah, there's that. Dixie Bar and Train stuff. We can do that. Kevin was trying to trick me. Red Seas in school.
Some are walking, some are talking to the wall. Two lovers kissing on the lips, and across the room some mama's baby squall. A shudder just went through the crowd from a sound that synchronized their brains. They just heard the whistle on the blue red river train. Baby, stop, look and listen. You can hear that crazy breakman sing the blues. But he ain't working willingly. They got that fella tied to his cabin. Conductor winds his watch, and you can see him waving with his cane, crying all aboard for the blue red river Here comes a man with a missing face. Got no eyes, I wonder how he sees. He never smiles, he never speaks. He got no mouth, I wonder how he eats. Some kids said, man, that's Casey Jones. But the truth is, he ain't got no name, and he's the engineer on the blue red river train. Preacher's in the club car drinking, thinking about his next revival down the line. The gambler pours him one more round, saying, "Here, preacher, take survival off your mind." They can hear the thunder roar, they can see the river swell with rain. It's a perfect storm for the blue red river train. Ambitious smokes of swift salvation, billowing black and blocking out the sun. Steel rails cut through landing baggage on the blue Red River train. Yeah, the deep's deep and sleepy people.
Kevin Carroll, y'all. You guys are very good ladies tonight. For those of you who didn't see any of the 4 gigs that we did in Texas, the Flatlanders, Kevin's been playing guitar with us, so he's doing a great job. He spied her from clean across the room at the same time she spied him. They drifted together without even watching. The music was low and the lights were dim. But their eyes met again with a blush and a grin. Ask each other when, what if? And with no replies under starry skies, they escaped to the mountains and found a cave in a cliff. And then they loved there the whole night through. Eileen, a show in mind, doing something like that with you. Well, the little wooden bridge to the ghost mining town, it was rattling in the stormy night wind. His ghost and her spirit, they both drew near him. He was looking for her, she was looking for him. Moonlight on the ridge, they met on the bridge, in a teardrop of rain from the storm. As the wind kissed the river, they loved and they shivered, fell asleep there in each other's arms. And every dream that they dreamed came true. I sure wouldn't mind doing something like that with you.
Outside of that, there was no other sound. So they made love to their own rhythm and blues. Eileen, I sure wouldn't mind doing something like that with you. Eileen, I sure wouldn't mind doing something like that with you.
Might even call it all, but once you called me more than just your friend. Now there's more to what I'm thinking than the Mississippi line. Still, Tennessee is not the state I'm in. You called me up at midnight to explain your whereabouts. I should have seen your love was coming to an end. But as you called from a longer distance, I began to have my doubts. Still, Tennessee is not the state I'm in. No, Tennessee is not the state I'm in. Satisfied is not the way I've been. I can feel the road as I watch the bottle spin. Tennessee is not the state I'm in. I could stand out on that highway and try to make that Nashville scene, but I think I've stretched my love a little thin. So I walk the streets of Memphis, but I'll have you understand that Tennessee is not the state I'm in. No, Tennessee is not the state I'm in. Satisfied is not the way I've been. I can feel my world turn as I watch the bottle spin. Tennessee is not the state I'm in. Oh, Tennessee is not the state I'm in.
It's sort of like reminds me of 14th Street, except we got microphones. And I think we actually had 2 microphones in that house. I think.
Yeah, maybe mine work.
Yeah.
They came in handy for
They sounded good.
nailing stuff to the wall.
One time I got to tell you the story that at 14th Street there was the Charlie Sanders who lived in the house before we did, actually one or two renters before we were there. He was in the computer science department at Texas Tech. That was back when, you know, like if they had like 128 kilobytes, and it took like a room this big. And
all the programs came on with
little punch cards. So, and for some reason, he saved all the punch cards from that department for, I don't know, it must have been years. And there was a mantle that went clear across our living room there. And it was like stacked about 3 feet high, with all the way across with computer cards, spent computer cards. And
Boxes of them in the
so we just, you know, we'd have parties and we'd just look around at, you know, and play music, and every once in a while, you know, somebody'd look over their shoulder and go, ugh. What's this stuff? And one night, we were playing some music and Joe just lost it, man. We walked over there and kind of picked up a large handful of them and just, and they were beautiful. They were fluttering everywhere. Our eyes got big, and before long we were just throwing them everywhere. It was a punch card party. It was the best one ever. It was like ticker tape all through our living room and dining room, and it looked, you couldn't see anything but those things. After, I mean, they stuck behind, you know, baseboards and on the ceiling, and they're everywhere.
And then, you know who cleaned them up? Nobody.
They stayed there. Remember the next morning after the computer card party, the punch card party, the landlord came to collect the rent. And we all hid in the basement.
The rent was $85.
No, wait a minute, that was like 2 months later, after it actually finally gotten cleaned up. And the landlord came, and we thought we'd cleaned it all up. We were hunkering down in the basement, just shaking, like, oh God, if we only had $5 more, we could make the rent. You know? Just like a bunch of chickens, you know, down there. And yet we were trying to keep from laughing because it was so stupid. And then we were down there, and suddenly out from under one of the little rafters, here came another one more computer card, and we lost it. We gave up, and then that was 14th Street for us. You got one yet, Jimmie? This is the usual thing of we make a list and we, you know, let's do you remember that old, give about a sheet. And,
I don't know if I said Butch Hancock song was in key.
do that,
I said more information. stars in my life will stay in place. Your kind of consciousness and holy vision lights up my stars with a light so fine, so pure. This universal law needs no revision. The stars in my life will shine for sure. The stars in my life will shine like sunshine. If only I can see your smiling face. Though this universe collapses on occasion, the stars in my life will shine for sure. Dark clouds may hide your loving powers. Darling, all my stars will shine for you. The sky may cover up with thunder showers, but you can make my stars come shining through. The stars in my life will shine like sunshine. If only I can see your smiling face. Though this universe collapses on occasion, the stars in my life will shine for sure. Yes, the stars in my life will shine for sure.
Kick it off there, Bon Joe. See what you got there.
Well, my old shoes are laying on the floor. I ain't gonna wear them no more. They took me many miles down many hard roads, but that's what shoes are for. Now time is flown and I'm outgrown every shoe I ever wore. And I guess my bare feet will have to carry me one no more. Lord, I ain't got a lick of sense, I got a crazy mind. 'Cause I don't wanna leave and I don't wanna stay behind. But at the end of this one last road, they say there's always an open door. And I guess my bare feet will have to carry me one no more.
Well, I never could move my feet too fast in the air. Ain't you alive and glad? Long as a poor man's good. I've told the line just one last time. I got something else in store. Guess my bare feet will have to carry me one road.
Lord, I ain't got a lick of sense, I got a crazy mind. 'Cause I don't wanna leave and I don't wanna stay behind. song on the list if there was a list.
Down on the track. Yeah, down on the track. Son of low down, son of a bummer, stole my sleeping bag. Left me standing at a newsstand, eating warm eggs in the rack. My bed is back up in Flatlanders, down on the drag. The sooner I get to Houston, the sooner I'll catch my boat. We'll cross that Gulf of Mexico, taking anything that will float up and down on the drag. Down on the drag. Son of low down, son of a bummer, stole my sleeping bag. Let me standing at a newsstand, reading warm eggs in the rack. My bed is back up in London, down on the drag. The sooner I leave this town behind, the sooner I'll get control of all my crazy dreams and my heart losing scheme. My heart, body, mind, and soul, been down on the track. Down on the track. Son of low down, son of a bum stole my sleeping bag. Let me stand where you stand, reading warm eggs in the rack. My bed is back up in the Bluebird, down on the track.
Well, if you don't believe my story,
I ain't gonna tell you no more. I never expect to see you again. I've been standing down in some doorway, down on the drag. Down on the drag. Low down, son of a bummer, stole my sleeping bag. Let me standing at a newsstand, reading warm eggs in the rack. Where we gonna be, but I'm back in Tulsa, down on the drag.
I was gonna say last, but you know.
Okay, my boy. Yeah. Hot days, summer nights. How do you play a B minor seventh? Huh?
Something I could find. I wouldn't be here now, but I sort of missed a train, the way I missed the one I left behind. Circles of the past fade away so fast, while they spin and turn, you live and learn. Just a quick goodbye. I didn't even wonder for how long. The paddle wheels are turning, steamboat whistles cry. I wonder now if I'm the one who's gone. If I'd taken that job in Santa Fe, I never what I lost in a day. I'd go somewhere if I had somewhere to go. You're in Baton Rouge, I'll bet. Maybe Lafayette, Houston, San Antonio, it's all the same. Some things I just don't get. I'm not hearing from you yet. Still waiting for the help that never came. Walk out on the highway, see what I can find. Maybe nothing more than just a ride. They say the storm is over, but they don't know my mind. Is there even any reason left to hide? Circles of the past fade away so fast. While they spin and turn, you live and learn. Time is to the game, like fire is to the flame. There's nothing left to learn, just let it burn. I've been here before, I can't complain. Must be something in the book of Revelation. Keeps on messing with my destination. The old city nearly did me in. I got my doubts if I'll go there again. Turning back could turn into a heartbreak. Tonight I just need shelter from a heartache. Wishing for a rainbow. Listen to the wind blow. Wondering how can love grow. Wishing for a rainbow. Wonder if she found her way to Denver. If she still needs the love I said I'd send her. Like roses untended may grow withered. Love letters in my heart go undelivered. Wishing for a rainbow. Listen to the wind blow. Wondering how can love grow. Wishing for a rainbow. Shattered glass all scattered across the floor. Some fella left his suitcase by the door. I'd like to think I left it all behind me. I know for sure the past will never find me. There are those who sanctify revenge. Time and life will leave them on the fringe. And some to the end will carry grudges. Time and life and death will be their judges. Wishing for a rainbow. Listen to the wind blow. Wondering how can love grow. Wishing for a rainbow. Wishing for a rainbow. Listen to the wind blow. Wondering how can love grow. Wishing for a rainbow.
Kevin and Jimmie. Have they run? Well, no. Hey, Jimmie, I pronounced it with a Y.
Yes, sir. Jimmie Bandit, y'all.
many years, we finally wrote a bunch of songs together. Like hundreds of years of not writing them, but writing them just on our own. And we finally got together and were able to complete a few of them.
Yeah, I just think it was against the law to write a song with more than one person.
Probably was in Lubbock, you know.
A conspiracy.
What was it? Last year, finally, was it last year or the year before, they finally, Lubbock went wet. Is that weird, man?
And the year before that, the city council voted that cats, if they were outside of a house, they had to be on leashes.
Have you ever tried to put a leash on a cat? You know, Mark Twain one time said, by carrying a cat by a tail, a man can learn something he can learn in no other way.
He also said the use of force was such a bad way to get things done, and it's usually reserved for small children and large nations. With a backpack full of yesterdays, on a freeway full of smoke and haze, with a power line, fault lines go across. I left our yellow porch light, no one will notice, no one else will notice what was lost. I lost my home when the deal went bust to the so-called security interest. I planned my life the way that it said I should. I sent my wife and kids ahead. I'm right behind you, so I said, I'll be there when I get there, if that's good. I'm leaving California for the Dust Bowl. They took it all, there's nowhere else to go. The pastures of liquor, burning by the sea. I'm just a homeland refugee. There's a plastic sack on a barbed wire fence, burned out beer truck full of dents, dried up stock pines by an old corral. Between the towns, the desert sand are filling up with empty cans, container trains, casinos, and canals. I'm leaving California for the Dust Bowl. They took it all, there's nowhere else to go. The pastures of land are burning by the sea. I'm just a homeland My grandpa used to tell about the way the bankers drove them out, and the wind and the dust and the crash between them. They crossed the desert, headed west, swore that it was for the best. They reassured the ones they left behind. There's some refugees from Mexico behind an abandoned Texaco. We nod and smile, it's clear we're all the same. For everything this world is worth, we're all just migrants on this earth, returning to the dust where we came. I'm leaving California for the Dust Bowl. They took it all, there's nowhere else to go. Pastures of land are burning by the sea. I'm just a homeland refugee. I'm leaving California for the Dust Bowl. They took it all, there's nowhere
But sometime you got to. Okay, that's the deal. Okay, we're just for that we won't do it.
Bluebird.
How come we didn't get a vote on whether you were worthy or
He's got all the good lines. Sits up there behind the radio microphone, and then when the music's playing, he says, okay, I know, here's it. Better write that one down, you know.
if you were a bluebird, you'd be a sad one. I'd give you a true word, but you already had one. If you were a bluebird, you'd be crying, you'd be flying home. You were a raindrop, you'd shine like a rainbow. If you were a train stop, the conductor would sing low. If you were a raindrop, you'd be falling, you'd be calling home. Stretch alongside you, I'd help you pass byways that have dissatisfied you. If I was a highway, I'd be stretching, I'd be fetching you home. sad one. I'd give you a true word, but you've already had one. If you were a bluebird, you would be crying, you would be flying home.
Real close to A-Hill. Well, I made a few mistakes by pitching, and I struck some matches down some dirty streets. The fire of love I lit has burned to ashes, and now they're only smoldering at my feet. And I made a few mistakes by tossing coin. Yeah, I got the longest living losing streak. But if you'll be a gal of mine, you can make my money shine. Come on, baby, make that leaving penny speak. All day you can turn my wheels of fortune till you find some wheel of fortune all wrong. Don't you turn your wheels of love unless you're watching, 'cause a blind look can turn your heart to stone. And I made a few mistakes by singing love songs when I should have just been strumming my guitar. I used to wish on magic, I used to wish on a wishing well, but now I'm only wishing on a star. All day you can turn my wheels of fortune till you find some wheel of fortune all wrong. But don't you turn the wheels of love unless Let's do a ballad about our JT still here?
Yes, sir.
We appreciate your company up here, and y'all welcome JT fans.
It's kind of a special evening, I'd say.
JT's building a boat.
6 more.
6 more boats?
Batches of 6.
Batches of 6. Makes sense to me.
Thanks to Griff for for the culture that we've created here. And to Butch, what an amazing talent these guys up here are. Everybody up here is a gift to all of us. Except for me, I'm one of you. One of you guys.
Didn't she used to work here?
We don't need to, we'll just stick to the positive. Come gather round, you people. A story I'd like to tell about a brave young Indian that you all should remember well. From a tribe of Pima Indians, proud and noble band, that formed the Phoenix Valley down in Arizona. Through the ditches for 10,000 years, those sparkling waters rushed. The white man sold the water rights, and then all those sparkling waters hushed. And Ira's folks grow hungry as their farms grow crops of weeds. When war came, Ira volunteered and forgot the white man's creed. So call him drunken Ira Hayes. He don't answer anymore. Not the whiskey drinking Indian or the Marine that went to war.
What the hell did he with you? 250 men. Only 27 of them ever lived to walk back down that hill again. When the fight was over, when old glory was raised, among the men who held her high was that Indian Ira Hayes.
So call him
Drunken Ira Hayes.
He won't answer anymore. Not the whiskey drinking Indian or the Marine that went to war. Well, Ira returned a hero, and he was celebrated throughout the land. just a Pima Indian. Had no money, no home, no chance. In Arizona, no one cared what I had done. It's just when do them Indians dance. So then he started drinking hard. The jail was off of his home. They let him raise the flag and lower it, kind of like you'd throw a dog bone. So he died drunk early one morning, all alone in this land he fought to save. 2 inches of water in a lonesome ditch was a grave for others. Call him drunken Ira Hayes, he won't answer anymore. Not the whiskey drinking Indian or the Marine that went to war. Yeah, call him drunken Ira Hayes, 'cause his land is still as dry. His ghost is lying thirsty down in the ditch where I retired.
Thank you, JT. That was beautiful. We just found out at the first of this year that JT lives about 250 yards down the road from us. We never could, I didn't even say, you can't even see his house from the road, all these trees. The hill country does have a tree problem. Like Joe says, once you live in Lubbock, you get several trees in your field of vision, you kind of start feeling kind of hemmed in. You have a bit of a hill problem. Hill problem. I moved off to Terlingua where it kind of split the difference, We got lots of hills, but no trees. Okay.
love, how far can you see? Borderless love, there's no fear at all in a borderless love. There's no need for a war. Over, under, around, and through. Life is love and love is true. Over, under, round and through. Walls of thunder, skies of blue. Borderless love. Borderless love. Borderless love. Borderless love.
It's time to pay the alligator. Think you should tell the history of this song? Yeah. It's got a little different beginning than some. There's a out there in the Big Bend on the down below the Colorado Canyon put in for several years. There was an alligator down there, and I didn't believe it for a while. Although all the river guides swore that it existed. And then one time we went down through there, and I started seeing on the banks these big, huge claw marks and scratch marks, and there's no known animal around there that could make those kind of marks. And apparently the alligator would pounce out of the water and grab a duck, and right back down into the water, kind of dragging his heels, so to speak. I guess they don't really have heels. And that really didn't have anything to do with the song. That's just the only alligator. But I actually finally saw the alligator, man, and his eyes were like this far apart. I mean, Catfish, kind of the head elder boatman out there these days. He said, "Hey, everybody be quiet." Well, what's he going to say? Alligator. Where? Just watch over there. And he said for about 10 minutes. Yeah, sure. This is like a snipe hunt. And through this in Lubbock, and sure enough, all of a sudden, just little knobby eyelids or something, whatever they have in there, kind of appeared. Just kind of slowly rose up out of the water a little ways, and his nostrils showed. Pretty much, like that. And he kind of wiggled his ears at us. It was definitely an alligator. He had grown to about 7 or 8 feet long. He got pretty big. And nobody knows precisely how he got there. There's some pretty good rumors, but somebody dumped their goldfish bowl in him. So he's a little bitty guy. And then he finally he got washed out by the flood one year. So he might be down, somewhere in Lake Amistad or something. Anyway,
That would be the story that it was. That has nothing to do with the song.
Have you ever heard that story before? Well, actually, we were working on writing some songs, and Jimmie came out of the bathroom in the studio, and he commented on the radiator that was in the studio. And you thought he said, alligator.
I can't remember which way it was. And anyway, we said, yeah, we ought to play the alligator, or play the radiator. He said, play the radiator. And I said, or, you know, what?
Oh, then somebody said, did you say pay the alligator?
Jimmie said, did you say pay the alligator?
Anyway, it sounded like something we'd heard when we were kids, and you know, when your grandfather says, if you touch that, you're going to have to pay the alligator.
Well, the sheriff pulled me over and he started his job. Doing 20 miles on, I was doing 25. Son, keep your left foot off the accelerator.
If you don't slow down,
You gotta pay the alligator. I was minding my business in the back of my store. IRS come knocking at the door. They found me hiding down behind my own refrigerator.
you don't pay me.
You gotta pay the alligator. Pay the alligator. Pay the alligator. It might be sooner and it might be later.
One thing for sure,
You gotta pay the alligator.
well, the afterlife come and it scared me half to death. I heard St. Peter mutter underneath his breath, take this bucket, we'll talk about it later.
You can take the pearly gate.
Or pay the alligator. And then the devil caught me looking at the thermostat. I told him I'd never touch nothing like that. He said, shut the hell up to do what I say.
Or you're gonna have
The alligator to pay. Pay the alligator. Pay the alligator. But one thing for sure, gotta pay the alligator.
Well, order in the court, the suspect on the stand. Said he saw the whistle in his hand. The judge said, I hate to implicate the perpetrator.
But if you jack with the judge,
You gotta pay the alligator. You gotta walk on razors and sleep on nails. Talk like ducks and walk like quails. Go blindfolded backwards through the discombobulator.
and if you don't do it right,
You gotta pay the alligator. Pay the alligator. Pay the alligator. It might be sooner and it might be later.
but one thing for sure,
You gotta pay the alligator. Pay the alligator. Pay the alligator. It might be sooner and it might be later.
but one thing for sure,
You gotta pay the alligator.
there's the sky, here's the earth. This
it's a wave. It's an arrow and it's a snake. It's asleep and it's awake, and it's stretching from the cradle to the grave. Thank God for the road and the hubcaps and the headlights and the mud flaps and the tail lights and the dim lights and the bright lights. Thank God for the road and all the miles that come between us, the little rains that come between us, guardian angels who have seen us. Thank God for the road, no matter what it takes to drive it. Life and death can seem so bright, still you think you will survive it. Thank God for the road.
Have a lot of train wrecks on the old Cotton Club floor around Lubbock. And I got to tell you a funny story. We were just going through there on the way to somewhere else. We stopped in at the Cotton Club, and like an old dance, titty bars. They had a little stage that went out into the middle of the room and everything. And we were just hanging around there. They built it right over the old dance floor, just hammered it right into the dance floor. And we were checking it out. And Lance, our manager, says, he kept looking at it kind of sighed and said, "Boy, I bet there are some mighty hard-looking women in." And one of the fellas over in the, I guess one of the new managers there, he over kind of in the shadows said, "I married one of them." and Lance, who is extremely fast-thinking and quite diplomatic, quickly came up with a great answer. He says, "Well, I didn't know there were some real pretty ones." and the guy, there's a moment of silence, and the guy says, "I didn't say she was pretty."
That's a true story. That actually happened.
We were lucky to get out of there.
But you didn't tell why they were train wrecks on the dance floor.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting to. It's because
It would be, everybody would dance in a circle, except the cowboys and the ranchers and farmers would all dance clockwise.
yeah, they do
Counterclockwise. And the hippies would come out and they'd just start spinning around.
I think it's because UFOs spin clockwise. But one of the great joys of the Cotton Club for me was going out and dancing while Joe and his band was playing out there. And Jesse Guitar Taylor was just shaking the rafters and bands and then the whole gang. It was the Bonnie Bone who was here just the other night. Yeah, and it was some awesome nights out there. And, well,
When you're ready for stage, go dancing and the prancing, grab your sweetheart and hop in your car. Just drive right on down to the bright side of town. You'll be happy, you don't have to drive far. You'll be glad you don't have to drive far. Park your pickups and your Cadillacs and your Fords and your Pinballs. Get out and dance like a Dickens in the West Texas Walk. My pickup needs a tune-up. I'll let her get up and pick up my mind to get busy today. My sewer line is backing up and my tractor's been acting up. I'll be dancing tonight anyway. I'll be dancing the whole night away. 'Cause I count my blessings and I don't count my falls. And I like to dance like the Dickens to the West Texas Walk.
Well, I found a young cowdog, and I told him I'm an outlaw. You're a borderline collie, I'm a borderline fool. But he had some bad habits, he was scared of jackrabbits, so I sent him off to canine school. I think they called it Texas Tech. But when he got back, he couldn't tell a cow from a horse, but he could dance like the Dickens through the West Texas Walk.
Grandpappy, if you plan to stay happy, you better lace up your best dancing shoes. Come see us, don't ride us. You can stop your all the riders just for dancing away. Just for dancing away all your blues. So bind up your bunions, spin your band-aids and gauze, and get out dancing like the Dickens to the West Texas Walk.
pretty much, I got a much better plan. You kiss me on the stripes, I'll kiss you on the balls, and we'll dance like a diggers to the West Texas wall. I met a fine lady banker, I sure like to thank her, cause the credit she gave me made me shout.
That was pretty darn good.
It's the best I ever heard it the first time, but Butch says you don't get away with just one. Cause the credit she gave me made me shout.
I personally think he kind of slacked off. So, and good. Well, it was good. It was real good. It was better than a lot of them. But you guys could do way better. I know. Well, I think so.
It's the sustain.
That's right. Yeah, sustain is what it's like.
Cause the credit is me shout.
Starting another project called No Three Alike. But I can't quite figure that out. It almost makes sense. I guess it does make sense. But then, eventually somebody would be doing like No 385. No, that doesn't make sense though. But No Three Alike really doesn't make sense. We could work it down the other way, but no one alike. Speaking again, did I tell you my beeping story last night? Don't worry, I won't do it again. What a planet. What a planet. tractor in Donnelly County in the Panhandle. He was driving a tractor. I think I wrote this on a tractor actually. I came in late that night. It was like 9 or 10. Well, working. And I flipped on the TV for the first time in a couple of weeks. And I swear, the instant the song was Dominoes. And the very instant the picture came up, it was this guy on Johnny Carson's show pushing over, I mean, I swear, just like within a second as the picture came up, he was pushing over the first domino of like 45,000 dominoes that he'd been setting up all week behind the curtain there. And I was just paralyzed. Right after I wrote the song, and I sat there just stunned for like 3 minutes watching it. And he would loop the loops and jumping things, and it was very bizarre. Which was not even vaguely near the world's record, which is something like several million. But they had, these guys over in, I think in Japan did that. They had a big warehouse, and a bunch of students spent like 6 months or a year or something like that setting up like 2 million dominoes. And they mysteriously didn't fall over until they pushed them, and they went through like 1,200,000 of them, and then it stopped. And everybody's kind of looking around, is that your section or mine? And they kind of said, walking hard on the floor, but they finally, after about 30 minutes, that somebody had to push the next one. I'm going to give this a try. I'm better at one.
Must have been the devil's daughter. At least he taught her how to wear her clothes. And the boys followed her to the slaughter. They fell like old dominoes. Yeah, they fell like old dominoes. Say a fool never knows what he misses. A wise man never misses what he knows. What can I say? Your 10,000 kisses fell on me like a row of dominoes. They fell on me like a row of dominoes. Won't you tell me how you've been? Don't you say you've been feeling fine? Sad happy days are here again. Dominoes are standing in the line. Yeah, the dominoes are standing in the line. Share like you know I love you, but I also love the way the wild wind blows. So don't set your dreams up there above you, where they'll fall like a row of dominoes. Where they'll fall like a row of dominoes. Say a fool never knows just what he misses, and a wise man never misses what he knows. What can I say? Your 10,000 kisses fell on me like a row of dominoes. They fell on me like a row